hello. We are here for episode 5 of Joe Black Meets, and this time I'm meeting the absolutely stunning Juno Birch, blue alien woman, Sims playing, performing a ridiculous ball of chaos, and what a joy it was. As always, there are no sponsors at the time of the recording of this little intro, so if you would wish to support me in some way, my merch store is just relaunched with some new designs and prints and things, including a cheeky little sales section from old tour prints. Or come see me on tour with Club Cataclysm across the UK and Ireland this October and November. Everything can be found at mrjoeblack.com. That is MISTER, not just MR, mrjoeblack.com. Anyway, please be sure to like, subscribe, all of that nonsense. Give us a cheeky 5 stars, unless there's 10. And enjoy the chat with Juno Birch. Goodbye!
This meeting is being recorded.
And it's being recorded because, firstly, hello, Juno Birch.
Hello!
But this is being recorded because I'm here to ask the big questions. I'm here to ask you, on behalf of everyone, what the hell is going on?
You want me to answer that honestly?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no clue what's going on.
Why are you a hot dog? Why are you blue? Why did you crash land on this planet?
I don't know.
What is going on?
There is no reason for anything that I do. It just happens, and I let it happen. Yes, that's why I say yes, that's happening all the time. Because the thing is, I feel so out of control in my own life that I have to just be like, yes, that's happening. Just let it happen.
Don't just embrace the chaos. Be the chaos.
Exactly.
You are the chaos.
That's a mantra.
We'll take it back. So I was originally aware of you because you were an illustrator and I don't know if potter is the right word. You were what would the ceramics? You made things with clay.
I don't know what the term is. A sculptist or something?
A sculptor. I would say a sculptor.
A sculptor, yeah. That's it, yeah.
Because I said potter, but then I just imagined you, in full costume, just at a pottery wheel. And that's not...
Or dressed as Harry Potter. Transphobia begun.
But yeah, I was aware of you from your illustrations and your sculpting work. And it's obviously come on... it's transformed quite a bit from there. I don't want to say leaps and bounds because you were excellent at that. You just sort of moved vocation. But it all makes sense. You've become... So for people listening unfamiliar with Juno's previous illustration and sculpting work, is the illustrations and the sculptures were what you look like on stage. So you became the art.
Absolutely. Well, I did that for years and years of drawing this character. And then I think once I kind of switched a little bit and I was like, I can't keep still. I need attention. And I love performing more than anything. That's my favourite thing about drag. So I was kind of like, I want to perform. And I didn't really specifically sit there and go, I'm going to make myself into my art. It just kind of naturally happened because I just would paint myself my favourite colour and I would do my hair how I like it, the kind of thing. And it just kind of gradually become something in my brain that I've always admired, like a very specific image.
Well, I think that's also one of the reasons you did so well, other than the fact that you are brilliant, is that what you're doing is very clearly, authentically you. You haven't looked around and gone, right, what's the market to be filled here? Right, there's no blue sunglass-wearing alien women. It wasn't that. It was like a very natural, this is what you like, this is what you enjoy, this is what excites you. And I always find with performers, if they're doing something that excites them, that's really infectious for an audience. And something people can really get on board with. It was just a lovely coincidence that what you liked doing, everyone else liked as well.
Yes, I think the thing is though, people kind of just like chaos, And I am literally chaos. So I think it's going pretty well.
When did this sort of, so the character you drew, when did that start?
Well, there's photographs of me back in I was probably about 14. No, probably about 15. And that was the first time I painted myself blue. And I went to this event in Liverpool called Psycho Motel. And it was like a themed Halloween-y kind of dress-up punk kind of weird underground kind of club night. And I just used to paint myself blue every time I visited. And I don't know why I did it. I think originally, the first time I went, I was supposed to be Miss Argentina from Beetlejuice. But it just did not look like that. I took the red wig off. I was like, I'm not feeling the red wig. And at the time, I had blonde Chelsea cut. And I had a blonde Chelsea cut, blue skin. I had leopard print skirt and stockings. And then since then, I've just kind of painted myself blue again because I like the way it looks. And I kind of have become so delusional to the point where I think it's actually my real skin. Like, people always, that don't know me, go, why are you blue? Oh my God, you're blue. I'm like, am I? Well, oh, I've forgotten, yeah. It just feels so natural to me.
You've picked a color that it makes getting ready quite a challenge, I imagine. Or are you so used to it now that it's like someone just, putting on their hat or their suit or whatever, or their dress for the day, their outfit for the day? Is it just become that where you're like, right, it's time to go to work, get out the blue pan stick?
Yeah, I can get ready now in 45 minutes from start to finish. But the thing is, with the blue paint, I don't usually have to cream contour or do like heavy contouring and stuff. So I just literally slap it on, talcum powder it, eyes on, eyebrows on, lips on, go. But when you're on stage, it doesn't matter about being like perfection makeup because people see you from the back row anyway, don't they?
Then, so why are you still perfection then? Explain yourself.
I cannot help it. It's just naturally how I am. I'm just so gorgeous.
I've got this image of you now with the Chelsea cut and the leopard print on. So that's you sort of a very alternative, punky teenager then, I guess.
Yeah, well, I went through many phases because I was just so bored all the time. So I had different colour hair every single week. I was like changing my look constantly, but it was all fun. It was like dressing up. It was like I'm allowed to. Once I transitioned, I was kind of like, I'm allowed to wear exactly what I want. I'm allowed to do whatever I want. Not because I transitioned, but because I just felt more free with what I could look like.
Yeah, because you became your authentic self.
Yes. Spot on.
Do you mind me asking when you transitioned? Because you were early, weren't you? Because I remember you've said about the Tavistock Centre and...
Yeah, I identified that I was trans when I was 13. But back then, no one really said transgender. It was kind of like people just said sex change. That was like the thing that people said. And I got referred to like a clinic when I was like 13. It wasn't a trans clinic. It was just like help for kids kind of thing. They had no idea what to do with me. And then I got referred to the Tavistock clinic, which was literally saved my life because I didn't see another way out of living my life like that with that body. It was just not, I couldn't function naturally with anything that I was doing. So in the Tavistock, they gave me therapy for years and years. I think the rumour in the media is that they gave people medical treatment too early, which is absolutely not true. Like, I waited, I think, many, many years till I actually got any medical treatment, but they always question you and make sure that you are sure about what you're doing and that kind of thing. And
it's almost like the media is lying.
The media is lying, but the thing is, it's like it's this thing about the parents who are scared for their children. I'm not having my child being trans or the J.K. Rowlings of the world. They're kind of controlling the media in a way because they're the people that the media listens to. So it's a shame that it's been shut down because I had so much. I know a lot of trans people will disagree with me because they're opening up more clinics, but I think the result of it being shut down is not what should have happened. I think they should have just give better training to the staff. Anyway, oh my God, we're going on a tangent.
No, this is your realm to talk about. That's I don't know it, so I'm learning as well.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, so you for those few years, that was obviously quite. That was quite a show. You went there, and then you became Blue, and then like what a few years for you, and then clear, you as far as I'm aware, you're a very happy individual.
Yes.
And it's all of those sort of one by one situations made you into the glorious, glorious alien woman we see before us today.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna hark back a little bit to the Beetlejuice reference.
Oh yes.
Because you were saying about Miss Argentina, and not actually, and then that. So that was maybe the what's the word I'm looking for? The crux, not the crux. The let's say the starting point.
Yes.
Right, you were being Miss Argentina. The Tim Burton thing is very much. I remember specifically early on for you, in your illustrations and sculpting work, the Tim Burton influence was really like obvious in like the most glorious way.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Tim Burton, I think that my favourite things about Tim Burton was the early days, the artwork that he did in the 80s, when he was like at Cal Arts and things like that. I just absolutely love his artwork. And I think something that I just loved about Tim Burton was that people were blue in the movies without actually having a reason why they were blue. I mean, sometimes it was because they were dead, but other times it was like, they're just blue kind of thing, and I kind of really liked that.
Because from that you've now become this sort of 60s sort of alien bombshell.
Yeah.
Sort.
I was really like a Tim Burton goth. I was never really, the gothic side of Tim Burton was never anything that super excited me. It was more the parts of the Tim Burton world that were like the housewives from Edward Scissorhands having ambrosia salad, or it was those parts that were pastel 60s vibes that were always, I was drawn to. Yeah.
Gloriously kitsch.
Yes, glorious, sickly kitsch.
And then I think obviously it's an aesthetic that is in other things as well. But I think the manner in which you do it is very much, I can look at certain things and go, that's very Juno.
Yeah.
Just, if I rewatch Edward Scissorhands now, I'm like, this is very Juno.
Yeah.
Also, but at the same time, Egon is trying to, one of my cats, Egon, is trying to get involved. And I realised I probably should have shut the door. Because he is absolutely going to try and climb on the computers. How is Cyril, your lovely Oriental short hair?
Well, I missed him so much when I was on tour, and because my mum was living here and looking after him, and then as soon as I've come home, he's been glued to me. I barely go out of the house because I just don't want to leave him. But he sleeps every single night wedged in my neck, and follows me around the house, even when I go to the toilet.
You've got asthma. I think cutting off your breathing he's trying to kill you.
Yes, he is trying to kill me. Sometimes I will wake up and his whole body is on my face.
This is why Phil must be there at all times, just to make sure that the cat isn't killing you.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think cats are always trying to kill their owners, aren't they?
Yeah, I think there's a certain disregard for human life that cats have. And they have... I remember seeing this, it was like a veterinary... not warning, he's just mewing now. Like a veterinary, not warning thing, but guide for like dealing with cats. And it said something like, the cat has no regards for social norms. Please use gloves. Also, basically went, the cat will fuck you up purely because they can. Like, please advise caution when dealing with cats. They don't understand what is polite.
Oh my God. That's why I love cats, though.
Do you also not understand what is polite? Is that what you're getting at? You wish you could live that freedom of, oh, he has come to say hello.
Hello! Oh my God!
Oh, he's hitting me now.
It's a little raw chicken.
He is a little raw chicken. I've got my little grey chicken that's much more well behaved. But so right, I keep sort of going back and on all these things. So the performing, right? You started it because you needed the attention. Is what you said. Like you were like, right, sculpting ain't enough, illustration ain't enough.
Like most drag queens, I love attention. But I performed a lot in high school in like performing arts and all that kind of thing. And I spent so many years of my teenagerhood not doing any of that because I transitioned and in my brain I was like, I need to. I did everything everything I could to not be trans, and in my brain I didn't want to be trans. I just wanted to be a biological woman, and I didn't associate myself with anything performative or anything that would relate to drag. And then I kind of switched and I was like, actually, what the fuck am I doing? I don't need to fit into society. I'm just going to be me and do what I enjoy. And straight away my brain was like, I want to be on stage. So that's when I kind of switched and was like, started performing, and I just love theatricalness. And
you sort of hit it off immediately, which I clocked on, and I remember messaging you after your first sort of performances and stuff as the Juno Birch we know today, and you just sort of would do it, and then you were like, right, I'm on stage now, and then immediately you were sort of a sensation, and it was like, oh my God, have you seen Juno Birch? That was my recollection of it. Is that you
She's
just
the talk of the town.
Talk of the town. You were sort of I don't want to say an overnight sensation because you were working hard on your artistic endeavors. But you said about it being being drag. So you very much consider what you do drag.
Yes, absolutely.
Because because I've heard you say it before, but in my head it's just, well, that's just Juno. Do you know, I haven't. My brain, for some reason, doesn't see it as like a separate character that's just you, but looking that way.
Yeah. Well, it's like out of drag and at home, I'm basically the same as I am when I'm in drag, but the only difference is that I'm more excited when I'm in drag because I feel more awake. When I'm out of drag and I look like Gollum and I'm sat at home in my pajamas, I'm tired, so I'm not like as energetic.
So very, very tired.
Very tired. Oh.
So there's a clear definition for you, but it's like I think a lot of people say this. There's like a heightened thing, because for me personally, there's not like a clear distinction. There's not a character shift when I'm on stage. It's just everything is bigger.
Yeah.
I'm not pretending to be someone else. I'm just being myself,
exactly.
But more obnoxiously, essentially, is just the far more obnoxious version of myself.
Yeah.
And I was saying about, you became an overnight sensation, and then you've just recently concluded a tour of the UK, of the USA, and of the Australias.
Yes, it was literally the best thing in the world, honestly.
That was your first big tour, wasn't it? Your first tour, right?
First tour, yeah. I'd never done a tour before, and that was the first one, and it was insane because a lot of the time I don't get booked a lot for shows. I think people see me on YouTube and they see me as a character on, like doing videos and things like that. And they don't I think I don't get booked a lot to perform in the UK.
I think that's because we'll get to YouTube in a bit, but you were very, very successful on the YouTubes. That I think for most shows they'd kind of just go, oh, she's a YouTube celebrity, we can't afford that. That's where my brain goes with it, because you look at somebody that's on YouTube's strange because it's like having your own TV channel.
Yeah.
So it's like having this TV star available to be beamed straight into your living room.
Yeah.
On demand, and it does. I feel whenever you're announced for an event, it's an occasion.
Oh, an occasion.
Like a real occasion. It's an occasion. I don't think it's like a casual, oh, she's on the lineup.
Yeah.
It's like with special guest Juno Birch, and then cue the like theremin music. Yeah, very, very much that. So how, as someone that had never toured before, I find this fascinating because I've done it for years, that I'm kind of so used to what is bizarre elements of the process. What are your takeaways from not just the actual performances themselves, but everything around it?
I would say, don't eat cheese.
Oh, I don't.
Also, the thing is about touring as well is that I found that I was over planning everything. I was like overly kind of putting costumes together. I was putting myself in really tight corset and pads every night, and I was kind of like, I don't actually need that to perform well. I don't need that to be able to. I'm just making it harder for myself. So I think the thing is that I've learned is to do what's more comfortable physically, and people don't really care about that. They just care about what you say and what you perform and that kind of thing. So I think I've realised that just make it a bit easier for myself.
Oh, I fully agree. So for years, I would make things really hard for myself.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make the biggest impact. And then on the Decapunk tour that I did last year, and also the Drag Race tour, I learnt that putting myself through physical uncomfortableness night after night after night after night is not a sustainable method of touring, because it's tiring enough as it is.
Because the thing is, you want. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, so it's just like if you forego a few elements that actually don't make a difference to the performance, but makes more of a difference to your comfort, you will have a much better time. And by the time you get to show number 30, and your body is giving up on you, you've barely slept, you've been living on a terrible diet of, service station food and quick meals, you can still give everyone 110% because you haven't there was on the Drag Race tour, there were some of the ones that were like corseting themselves to within an inch of their life, wearing these giant shoes for hours, all of the tape and the pulling and it fucks up your body.
Yeah. But some drag queens really enjoy that process of it. Like
Cherry Valentine, she always said, like, if it doesn't hurt, then no. If it hurts, it just means it's better.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to her, we were just sat on the tour bus, and I was like, you're not. And I was like, how old are you, Cherry? And I think Cherry's in their kind of mid to late 20s, and I was like, when you're 30, I want you to, with full conviction, tell me that you still think it's a good idea and that it looks better if you're in pain.
I think on the tour, I think it was when we got to Seattle, that was one of the last shows. I think that was the second to last show. And we'd done 4 days in a row with flights, because we'd gone off the tour bus halfway through, and it was like, I think it was cheaper for us to fly. So we were flying on show days. And then when it got to Seattle, I was I think it was a lot to do with my breathing. It was a lot to do with, because a lot of the time asthma gets bad if I'm changing location. Also, if I smoke a bit too much as well.
I was gonna say, by breathing, do you mean you're in airports and you couldn't smoke, so you were like, I'm gasping?
But also, it's like the lack of sleep, like, really fucks with me. And in Seattle, I nearly fainted on stage, but I still went. The scary thing was the stage it didn't have wings. It was like stairs going down, and then you had to exit through the audience. So if I was gonna faint, I had to leave down the stairs and go out the exit. So it was quite a scary show for me, but in the end, I just drank a shit ton of Red Bull, and it was a really good show.
Oh, yeah, looking after yourself. Yeah, let's have some Red Bull to sort that out, perk me right up. But
Cue the heart attack.
But not that we should be laughing at your misfortune, but I am, I'm sure the lovely people of Seattle would have looked after you. But I'm now imagining you sort of, mid-numbers, I am gorgeous. And it's like, just bum, 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 down the stairs. Also, me going, I am gorgeous. Egon just ran away. I don't think he likes me singing. Have I scared Cyril as well?
I don't know where he is. Oh, here he is. Let me get Cyril. Come on, wake up.
Juno is off to get Cyril.
Here he is.
Cyril's in the window,
now.
just narrating this.
Here's the baby.
Oh, hello, baby.
Loves his mummy.
Oh, look at that gorgeous face.
He's got such a long nose, like his mummy.
Long boy.
I just love him so much. Honestly, this was one of the hardest things being on tour, was not having Cyril there.
Yeah.
But my mum came and lived at my house, and she loves it. She loves living at my house. So she got attached to Cyril a lot. So it was really hard for her to leave.
Did you come back and then you realised that all of your costumes and your wigs had been tried on by your mother?
Oh, God.
That's a smoker's cough there. Gorgeous.
Yeah. Ask that chain smoking bastard. But no, I don't think she tried anything on. Maybe she had. I'm not sure. But she told me that she didn't even open the drag room. And I'm kind of glad she didn't, because it was such a mess before I left.
Well, how long were you away for?
So we did. The UK was 3 weeks, I think, but then we had a 2-week break, and then from Australia to America, I think it was 6 weeks or 5 weeks.
That's a while.
Yeah, it was a while. It was so weird though, because we started in New York in America, and then by the time we got to LA, we were like, oh my God, New York was like a month ago.
Yeah, you start with these things. You start, you lose track of any location, date, day of the week, time. There were so many times on the Drag Race tour, because that was like 3 months, that I'd be like just about to go on stage, and I would turn to the stage manager and I go, where are we? And then, because they're so used to it, and then sometimes they would have bits of paper on the monitor speakers that said, today we are in. And then because everyone's like lost their minds at this point. So we're like, we don't know if it's a Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Oh my
if days of the
God.
week no longer exist. And I guess that's why when I saw Britney Spears at Brighton Pride, and we can, the woman is not in a, at the time, we're not in a great mental state, that she said hello and then looked at a dancer and went, where are we?
I love Britney.
But that's, seeing that, I was like, I can relate. Maybe not to the full situation, but certainly to the where we currently are on this planet.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about the sculpting, the art, and the performance. Where does YouTube come into this? Because again, I think you've done that thing where you've done it, and somehow in my brain that's always been the case. That that was always there.
I started doing YouTube in lockdown. So I was performing a lot, and then we went into lockdown, and I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And then I was like, I play Sims a lot in my own spare time. I don't as much now because I've just not got time to do it. But and I kind of just started making videos playing The Sims in drag. And I was like, this is just going to be a little funny video that people are going to enjoy, or I'm going to put it on my Instagram and it'll be a little bit of a funny video. But I'm not even joking. I was so surprised at how people reacted to me playing The Sims, because there's like a weird cult following of people who watch me playing The Sims, and they have like all the storyline and lore out. There's people who have Twitter pages of the characters that I've made in The Sims, and it just was bizarre. But I really enjoyed doing that over lockdown, because it was my own way of almost directing my own soap opera. And then I also did makeup videos, which was my first sort of like way of being able to really focus on makeup and really enjoy putting makeup on and taking my time with it and going through the process and sharing it with everybody. And then I think that's when YouTube kind of took off for me in lockdown. And it's like having my own little TV show. I love it.
Yeah. I remember your Big Brother series,
Oh yeah,
but with the ongoing plots. Um, but yeah, like you said, this started in lockdown. For some reason, in my brain, it was there before.
yeah,
But I guess I don't know. You maybe it's is it called the Mandela effect, where you believe something exists.
yeah.
So
I feel like the thing is, I do that a lot with drag. I think the things that I do, I always make it look like I've been doing it casually for years. Like when I go out in drag or when I go to a meet and greet or something like that, I wear normal clothes, but I'll be like in blue makeup and glasses and hair, and it kind of looks like this is how I look day to day, kind of thing. That's kind of
dedication.
dedication.
Because you were saying about the kind of lore of your Sims thing. What I loved seeing all of your stories from the tour was the amount of people that came dressed as the characters.
Yeah.
And I always wonder the process of this, because you are I think, very naturally funny, because you are very absurd, and I mean that in the most glorious way. Is that, do you just like look at a character and then just go, they're called, there we go, like Belagoth?
Yeah, there's some of the Sims, like Belagoth. Belagoth's an original Sim from the game. Same as Joy Desperate. Joy Desperate was like a randomized NPC in the game. But, like, sometimes I'll just be like... I've always been quite good at coming up with names and coming up with stories and things. Because when I was younger, I wanted to be a director. I wanted to write films and direct films. And then I realised I'm not getting coffee for any director and spending years being a bloody runner. I want the attention on me.
So you will play God, you will play the puppet master, and you will bring great pain and suffering to all of the Joy Desperates of the world.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have a favourite story lore character from your Sims videos? Is there one that you're particularly obsessed with that isn't necessarily what other people are obsessed with? Because that's sometimes how these things go, isn't it? That you can have a favourite thing that is not other people's favourite thing they've picked up on.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that happened, because all the videos were never... I know what I was going to do in the video, but they would always be a bit improvised, and the way I would say things, everything's just improvised, nothing's scripted and that kind of thing. So one of the videos, there's this iconic character in The Sims called Belagoth, and everybody loves Belagoth. She's been in it since The Sims 1. And she died in my game, but you can always bring Sims back to life. But you can't bring Sims back to life if their remains have been disposed of. And I was about to resurrect the Belagoth. I was like, oh my God, we need to resurrect her now. Yes, it's happening. Right, let's resurrect her now. A panicking mode. Get it, do it quick. And this Sim comes along with a trash bag and picks up her ashes and puts it in the trash. And I was screaming into the camera. Anyway, because it was in lockdown, that was, like, so important to me. I was so invested in this storyline of keeping Belagoth alive. And everybody watching was, like, crying. It was a bizarre situation. So people now and again will come to me in a meet and greet and say, I still can't believe Nervous Subject put Belagoth in the trash. I'm still not over this. Like, it's real life. But yeah, I don't do Sims videos a lot anymore because I felt like that was something I was really passionate about in lockdown, and I always move on from things and I get bored, and people always are asking when's the next Sims video, but the thing is about doing Sims videos is I'm not sponsored at all by EA, or I'm not a game changer, that kind of thing, and it takes a long time to make Sims videos. So when it's like 2 days of prepping what I'm going to do in the video, setting it up or building something, and then it's a day of filming it, and then it's 2 days of editing it. So it's like almost like a week of doing it, and then it's like I'll make not that much money off it. So it's like you have to kind of balance what I'm doing, really.
In one of the later episodes, the interview's been done, but will not be out at the time of this one. it was another YouTube related people's, and YouTube is like another job.
Absolutely.
And I said to them, I was like, how do you do it? And they were like, this is just what we do. Like, that is, their occupation. So if you were going to make more Sims videos, you ain't got time to do. No one's going to see you on stage being absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
You just be locked away in your editing suite.
Yeah.
Cyril on your shoulder, just causing chaos for all of these.
I think a lot
Sims.
of people would prefer that. I think a lot of people would like that. But I have to do what I've always been like this in drag. I like to please people, but at the same time I like to do what I want to do, which is performing. And I think for something that I'd really love to do in the future, I'd love to host TV shows or shows and things like that, because I feel like I naturally feel so at home when I'm hosting something.
Well, they have just announced they're bringing back Big Brother.
I know, but they're not gonna book me for it or anything, because I'm not like. I think if they put a blue alien woman as the host of Big Brother on ITV2, the majority of the UK audience would be like, "What the fuck is that?"
I reckon that could be. You've had a few big breaks. I reckon this could be another one. Something actually that I did want to talk about in terms of breaking through an audience. Everything you've done has sort of like gone well, which is, I think, brilliant that happens. But there was a particular moment where you just it's really slammed into overdrive in terms of people being aware of you. So it was the Vogue video, wasn't it? But it wasn't. Obviously, feel free to correct me. It wasn't the actual Vogue video itself. It was that Trixie Mattel shared the Vogue video. So the Vogue video came out, and then how long was it out?
It was out probably about half a year, and it kind of just got like regular traffic like a normal Vogue video would get. And at the time I said no to do the video because they weren't paying me. And at the time I was struggling for money, and I need to pay the rent and kind of thing. But in the end, I just said yes anyway. The video came out. I wasn't really fazed by it, but it was a good like stuff to say. Oh, I've done a video in Vogue kind of thing.
And the video is brilliant.
Thank you. I mean, the thing is, I'm so different in that video than I am now, because I'd never spoken on camera before. So I was like, I didn't know what to say. And I was like, so if I didn't know what to say, I'd just go stunning or.
But that's stuck, hasn't it?
Yeah, and then what happened was they edited it, so they put every single stunning that I said in the video, and then from then on, people just shout stunning at me, which is perfect because I am. But
I love what a tagline. The things people shout at me compared to what they shout at you. I just get referenced to high street brands from strangers. You just get called stunning.
H&M is a sleigh, though. H&M is a sleigh. They sell some gorgeous things.
They sent me a lovely Vampire's Wife cape, so I was pleased with that.
Ooh.
The lovely collab with Susa Cave.
The Trixie Mattel video. So I went to LA, and then I met Trixie in the UK, and then I stayed at a house when I first went to LA, and we did a YouTube video together, and she posted that video. And I think what it did is it opened up that Vogue video to a lot more of the gay community, which are my fan base anyway, is a lot of the LGBT community. So
you attract the acronym folk.
Yes, I attract the aliens of the world. But I cannot thank Trixie Mattel enough for all of the things that she's done for my drag career over the years.
Oh, the woman's obsessed with you.
Oh, I can't get rid of her, honestly. But she's always supported my drag, and she's always Herman David, her boyfriend as well, and they feel like my mum and dad sometimes, because I just feel like I love them to bits. They're amazing.
Whenever you have any issues with anything, do you go, Trixie, what do I do?
No, not really. Because Because the thing is, when we text each other, we're like horrible to each other, but in a joking way.
So, you say, oh, this has happened, what do I do? And they just go, give up.
Yeah.
Quit drag.
Quit drag.
Stop
I'm
making...
coughing a lot today. I've not got COVID, don't worry.
Well, it doesn't. We're not in the same room. It's all right. I just can't travel through the Zoom waves. And in regards to Trixie, you have recently been the subject of a collaboration.
Oh yes.
With Trixie Cosmetics, and I was obviously I didn't tell anybody, but you mentioned it to me a while ago that it was in the works.
Yes.
But it was a long time ago that you mentioned it, and of course, I sort of went, "Oh, that's happening," and it went to the back of my mind because nothing appeared, and then suddenly, here you are, with a brilliant collection, by the way.
Thank you.
I have been using the palette at every gig.
Oh my God, really?
My two favorite eye colors, which are blue and purple.
Yes.
And then I use the orange for my eyebrows.
Oh my
to
God,
match
gorgeous.
my hair. So, and you've opened a world of more blue and purple possibility for me. And if I don't think I did need any more blue or purple eyeshadows, but I'm really glad I have them. And I'm glad it's got your face on it, because then I feel like you are adorning my eyes every show now.
I'm calling you stunning every time.
Yeah, you're just sort of just a tiny person living on my face, going stunning, stunning, stunning. How has it been doing a makeup? Sculptor, artist, performer, YouTuber, in vogue, now makeup.
Oh, she does the lot. She does the lot.
She does the whole thing.
But doing the makeup thing has been it's been a dream come true, because I've always wanted to do a makeup palette, or a line of something that, because something that people remember about me is that I'm blue and that I do this makeup. So it was honestly a dream come true. And Trixie just texted me one day and she was like, "Do you want to do a makeup palette together?" And I was like, yes. And then we did a Zoom call and we did like a few chats about it. And the thing is, I wanted the palette to be, because a lot of the time you get all these palettes that they have a colour story and they're all sort of similar tones that mix in together. But I wanted to be very specific about the human section, the alien section, and the dark tones for around the eyes and things, and be a bit more of a clash of a palette. And then it's just been amazing, like, working with the Trixie Cosmetics team, because the thing is, they understand my aesthetic, and they'll send me like a promo art, and I'll be like, usually if it's merch, I'm like, no, I don't like that, that's not me, or whatever. But with Trixie Cosmetics, they seem to have understood exactly what I am and exactly the style. I think as well, because Trixie has a lot of similar fashion inspirations. Because sometimes I'm like, Trixie will do something and I'm like, bitch, we're doing the same fucking wig now. Is this happening? But I realise that her aesthetic her inspirations have come from the very same thing that mine do.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the company and the collaboration has worked so well.
And isn't it amazing when a business just gets you?
Yeah.
It's a good feeling. And also, you kind of don't... I think as artists, we're quite used to having to really explain ourselves and go, oh, actually, we need to do this to keep it in brand. All of that sort of stuff. And then when someone does just get it right, you're like, oh!
Yeah.
And you appreciate that has happened. Not to say other people are doing anything, like, wrong, but... because they're not you, they need a little more guidance, and it can sometimes be quite hard to explain exactly like what the essence of you is.
Yeah.
But they've clearly picked up on that. What would you say is the essence of Juno Birch, other than the smell of old ashtrays?
Well, the smell of old ashtrays. The essence of Juno Birch is complete and utter delusion, I would say, because the thing is my persona is has a storyline, even though I've not sat there and written it. It kind of has fallen into, it's like an extension of my own personality. It's like an alien crash lands on Earth and she doesn't really know what she's doing, but she's trying to fit in with the humans, but doing it completely wrong. And there's a sense of delusion, calling myself stunning all the time, even if I, like, got, you know, my flash is hanging off or something. But it's like I think the essence of Juno Birch is utter delusion. And she's here to teach other people and humans how to learn that delusion is the key to confidence.
And hot dog costumes.
Honestly, people always ask about the hot dog costume, and that has come from The Sims. Because in The Sims, they always, stereotype things and use things that are kind of iconically American. And I think hot dogs is something that you look at and is just so pop art. And, you know, you've got the bun, the dog, the mustard, and it's all just, like, very cartoony. And I've always been attracted to that kind of... I always like to wear food products as an accessory.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like an alien.
Lobster.
Yeah, a
salmon.
lobster, a loaf of bread. And I think that's something that an alien would do, is they would think that that's a normal thing to do. And then I got really annoyed when Machino did that runway and they brought out bread bags and bloody, like, lobster dresses and hot dog costumes. And I was
should have got in contact and been like, give me the things right now.
No, honestly, that wouldn't happen with Machino because I think they take a lot of inspiration from artists all the time. But it's one of those things, is like, I don't mind them taking inspiration for things. I mean, I sound like I'm really big-headed saying they've taken inspiration, but I don't mind that. But the thing that I do mind is when people are like, oh, you're blue, you're doing that Machino alien look. And I'm like, no, bitch, I did it first.
The Machino is doing me!
Yes!
I mean, that's the problem with being so iconic, isn't it? Because don't people suddenly appear on European television pretending to be you in talent shows?
Oh my God, yes, I forgot about that. That was... So they mentioned me, though, in the... I can't remember where it was. Do you remember where it was?
I feel like it was Italian. So for anyone listening, out of nowhere, someone on a talent show I might be wrong. I think it's Italy. Just appeared as you.
Yeah.
And was like, hello, I'm an alien.
But they were like, they said, I got somebody to translate it on Twitter. Bear in mind, this is like 4 or 5 years ago now. But I got someone to translate it on Twitter, and they said that they were saying that they've come as an alien 60s woman that's crash landed. And the judges were like, this has been done before. This is very Juno Birch. This isn't original. And they kind of got booted off the show or something like that. But I think that is such a slay. Like, that is so iconic. Like that happened, like, years ago as well. So I was like, this gobsmacked me that people over there knew who I was.
But then also, didn't someone make a theatre show, like a clowning show?
Oh, yeah.
Also as you. That's more recent.
Yeah, that was a show in... I think that was Italy also. And it was called...
Very popular in Italy for being...
It was called Rat Clown or something like that. And it was somebody dressed as me with the supermarket trolley, with the glasses and the highlights and the purple skin and the beehive and everything, doing performances that I've done before. So I'm quite known to perform very heavy lip-syncy things and very, like, operatic things, and they kind of just did that, and it was kind of annoying that they were charging tickets to go and see a show that
was your show,
basically my show, and it was right before Attack of the Stunning as well, so it was kind of a bit annoying. But
I mean, you need to franchise this. That's what needs to happen. You need to rent out the blue skin, and you take a cut of it all. You teach them how to do it.
Yes,
you'd be absolutely fucking minted.
That's the thing, though. It happens all the time that people do, like fashion brands do it a lot with this brand called Humanic shoes in Austria. They've got like shop windows where pictures of somebody dressed as me were exactly the same. And it's like a campaign that they've done with this alien woman with the highlights, the dots, the glasses, the gloves, the hair, the headscarf, the lips, the everything, in the shop window.
The thing is, you are available to do these things yourself,
Yeah,
which is what I
book me,
find
bitch.
really confusing. I mean, Selfridges went for the original. You were the Christmas campaign for Selfridges, along with Jane Horrocks, right?
Oh, honestly, Joe, I cannot even tell you how scary that was. Well, it wasn't scary, but I just couldn't. I'm such a huge fan of Jane Horrocks. She's up there with some of my favourite actors. Jennifer Coolidge, Jane Horrocks. She's up there.
Only people who begin with a J, which is why they're called Juno.
Yes. I didn't think about that, actually. But it was, oh my God, it was amazing doing that with her. She's so lovely.
And it was, you've done so many big surreal things. And it just, when it's happening, you're like, yeah, this is really cool. Or is it a case of you just get on with it and it's like after the fact you look back and go, that was amazing? Like, what is your relationship to it? Do you like...
Are you referring to... What kind of things are you referring to?
I mean, to be on the, for the Selfridges Christmas campaign is phenomenal. I mean, clearly you're a spokeswoman for Crocs as well.
Oh my God! Ginny! Ginny was so fuming.
She's put all that legwork in those very comfortable shoes. And then...
I fucking love Ginny.
But yeah, so I mean, stuff like the Selfridges campaign, I mean, the tour, makeup collabs, is it like a kind of pinch me thing? Or do you sort of... Because some people, when big things are happening, they're like, I'm just going to get on with it, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Or are you like, oh my God, it's happening, this is huge.
I think out of drag, I am an anxious... Well, I'm not anxious, but I'm always a bit like, well, how am I doing with my life, honestly? I make money. My full-time job is to paint myself blue and put on a wig and do these things, and it's bizarre to me. And then when I'm in drag, I think, well, yes, of course.
This is correct.
This is correct. They should be booking me because I'm so stunning.
That's something the sister always says. And then when we were on tour, anytime there was a moment where it was like that realization of, this is our job, she'd look and go, what a silly job. And I think that's good for acknowledging when things are good and bad.
Yeah.
That if something is, ultimately you are still being paid to... And your job is to do this very silly thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're not having a good day, something's gone wrong, just let and go, what a silly job. And I think it could be both. That's for both good and bad.
Yeah. I have learned, though, over the years, is to be a diva. And I know that a lot of, the thing is I've learned how to, because when I early drag, I would get paid absolutely nothing for doing a hell of a lot of work. And a lot of the time I was kind of taken advantage of in that way. And I think I've learned now to really get exactly things perfect is to be a bit of a diva. Because that way, not a diva in the way I'm not doing it kind of thing, but in a way that's more like, if you've got a team of people working with you, if you don't say anything, that it's just going to be the same again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also, and I've had this conversation with other people, is that you going, actually no, cool, this is how I'd like it to go. It improves things for other people.
Absolutely.
As well, and the entertainment industry is full of people that try to take advantage of people. And also, I think you had success early on that maybe you hadn't come to recognize the value of yet. So learning that your value being applied to other people's profitable business is definitely a thing. And I think that's something all performers need to learn. And it doesn't mean I need champagne and cocaine and sausages.
Oh, wait, that is me also, though.
So that, it's, just to explain the champagne, cocaine, sausages, it was from a Nick Cave documentary. And he's talking to Warren Ellis. And it was Nick Cave talking about when he curated Meltdown Festival for the South Bank Centre. And then they booked Nina Simone as their headliner. And they said that she was a very, she just sort of sat there looking pissed off. And then did the most amazing, phenomenal show. But she just sort of sat in the dressing room looking really angry. And then one of the people working on it said, Dr. Simone, is there anything we can get for you? And she said, I want some champagne, some cocaine, and some sausages.
Oh, I love her!
So that's why I said that, actually. In case anyone was listening thinking, why is it, that's very specific 3 things to ask. What would your fantasy rider be?
Okay, so I already have a rider. Well, it's not...
Right.
I have a rider, but it's not in my head.
I think... Is it like Prosecco, sushi, and makeup wipes or something?
Well, back in the brunch days, it was... that wasn't my rider, because I didn't really have a rider. Like, you would get Prosecco at a brunch anyway, but in my rider head, like, go out to the shop and get something before a show, it would be a bottle of Prosecco, a box of sushi, and a pack of cigarettes, and some Airwaves. And that was
I think that's perfect.
That is so perfect.
I guess the sushi, for some reason, I just thought that is what you would eat at shows.
Yeah, because I don't like eating in drag very much. I don't know why, but I just...
Does anyone? It ruins things.
It feels weird. When I eat food, I feel comfortable. And I don't like feeling that sense of comfort in drag. I like to feel awake and like, lively and whatnot. But when on the tour, I'd have, like, vodka, lime and soda because I need to stay hydrated. And then
very sensible.
Yeah, but in the UK, on my rider, I had a pack of Sterling Jewel.
For the tour?
Yeah!
Oh, do you know what? I'm actually going to add that to the rider for mine, actually.
Yes, absolutely.
I never think to ask for cigarettes because it feels too cheeky, but you're what you said is your diva behaviour of what you need. I've learned from this.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it on board.
Well, no, the thing is though, I didn't even demand cigarettes on my rider. One of the tour manager that we had in the UK, he was amazing. He was so lovely. And his name's Mark. And he was like, you're buying cigarettes every day, Juno. Do you want me to just put them on the rider? And I was like, hell yeah, bitch. And then I was like, it was like Prosecco and cigarettes. Oh, like vodka and cigarettes. But
that was a great impression of Mark, by the way, who I have met, and that was a spot-on impression. Because anyway, you're from near Liverpool, right?
Yeah, he's full-on Scouser. Like, he talks like that. But I like the way he says "but." He says "but." You know, we can do that. We can get those lights in, but you need to be careful of the stairs. But I love him so much. He was an amazing tour manager. But anyway, I will say one thing. Smoking cigarettes on tour is not always a great idea because a lot of shows, I think it was in the UK, I got quite sick because I had a cold, a cough sort of thing. Tested a lot, so it wasn't COVID, but it was like, because you're doing meet and greets every day, you're getting sick from other people's germs. So I was doing some of the shows, like I'd have like a full-on 15-20 minute bit where I'd do stand-up comedy, and then I'd be like coughing in between each sentence, and it was like I'd be making COVID jokes but also coughing my guts out, so it was like a bit I wouldn't suggest. I am going to quit smoking one day, but I can't vape because vaping really fucks with me because it's moisture in my lungs.
It's just occurred to me that we're basically becoming an advert for smoking.
Yeah.
Don't do it, kids. It's a horrible, terrible habit.
Do it. Smoke until you die.
Me and Juno are horrible, horrible people. Do not repeat anything we say or do. We are not to be trusted. Take a look at either of us and say this person is an upstanding member of society.
Yes.
Like you can't. You just cannot. In regards to the coughing thing, I had a when I did my Deco Punk tour in 2021. By the end, I full on just sounded like Tom Waits because it was a long show, so it was 2 sets of 45 minutes a night. So by the end, I was like, "Hello, everybody, welcome to Deco Punk. It's lovely to be here." Without even trying. So even when I was just talking in the daytime, I sounded like this, and then I had to go out and do like nearly 2 hours worth of a show.
Oh my God.
But again, because I don't particularly look after myself because I'm a fool. Again, by the end,
when you perform, you use your voice in every way possible. Like, you are full on. Like, I remember one day, I think I was watching you perform. I think it was like a Disney. You were doing like a Disney thing where you're doing Disney villains, and you would be singing, but then like go, "Oi!" Like. That was quite a good impression of you, actually. But you would, like, scream. I'm not surprised your voice goes, because you...
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I'm in this for the long term with how I treat my voice. You do a great impression of me where, when Drag Race Season 2 came out, you did a reaction review video, and I can't remember exactly what you said.
I can't remember.
It was something like, "Hello, I am Joe Black, and welcome to the show." People do impressions of you to you all the time, right?
Yeah, well, people do impressions of me, but they'll either do, like, be like, "Oh my goodness me, I look absolutely stunning," and that kind of thing. Or they will go, "Oh, my name is Juno Birch and I feel stunning." Because when early drag days for me, I did the Jennifer Coolidge voice constantly. Because I felt like it was so comfortable for me to do that voice. If I ever spoke at shows, I would talk like this for the whole thing. And then I met Jennifer Coolidge and I was like, okay, I'm going to stop.
She's a real woman
stealing.
now. If you, is there like a thing that you really, really want to do? Like, is there like a dream goal? I've been asking everyone this, and it's become a thing, and I'm continuing it with you.
I think I have a few things that I had goals of doing. One of them was to do a tour, which has already happened.
Tick, tick, tick.
Tick. One of them was to meet Jennifer Coolidge, which has already happened. But one of the things I would love to do one day is I would love to be a reoccurring host on a TV show. The idea of doing something like Big Brother, or like, I want to be a Davina McCall character I love those celebrities that are off on the side. They're never in the limelight, but they're always that side character that's always there, and they're interviewing people on red carpets. They're like Joan Rivers kind of thing. That's like my goal. Also, I will say one thing. Next year, the Met Gala is rumoured to be space-themed. And I really want to one day go. I'm not an A-list celebrity, so I'm not going to get invited. But I want to go as like that Joan Rivers, like, menace that's got the microphone and they're stopping celebrities and asking them what they're wearing and that kind of thing. I'd love to be that person.
Well, I think the recurring TV thing is entirely possible. Let's try and get like an In with Anna Wintour, because I think she sorts the guest list for the Met Gala, right?
I have no idea.
I assume, I don't know. I don't know. She's a powerful woman, isn't she?
Or maybe I could message Bimini, because Bimini's obviously going to be invited. She's like the fashion icon of the UK.
Well, you know, if Bimini's getting an invite, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be getting an invite. More iconic, I think, actually, to be honest.
Oh.
You know, I'm on record as saying it. I mean, Anna Wintour also doesn't take her sunglasses off.
Yes.
And you also are partial to keeping sunglasses on. So maybe Anna Wintour is one of your alien siblings.
Anna Wintour, I love people like Anna Wintour, because they look the same all the time.
Is it because they're dressed they look like a cartoon character?
Yeah.
I'm actually, so I'm really terrible for this. I'll go for phases where I basically wear the same thing every day. Slight bits will change, like obviously because, clothes need to be washed. But I will look the same and I end up feeling like a cartoon character that's just changing into like day and night clothes. So just the same thing, but in maybe a slightly different color.
Very Cartoon Network wardrobe.
Yeah, I have a very Cartoon Network wardrobe. And you sort of do as well, right? You have a lot of the...
I guess I have my favourite kind of silhouettes of things that I wear. But I've experimented a lot over the years with finding my favourite kind of... I started doing a lot of really hourglass corset stuff in drag. And now I'm starting to swaying towards... no corset, no pads, baggy kind of like Lady Bunny vibes, dresses. Caftans, yes. So I'm doing Bushwig in New York in September, and all my outfits are going to be like ostrich caftan kind of things, because it's going to be hot. New York's a sweaty place, but I absolutely fucking love New York.
Same. I am awesome. I love New York as well. And we are coming towards the end, but I've asked people this in previous ones, and I ain't stopping my streak yet. Is there a favourite thing of yours that you've done? Like the thing that you've gone, yeah, and you just occasionally look back at it and just go, I did that.
I would say lots of things really, but I think one of the things at the moment is like doing the collaboration with Trixie. That's massive to me. Like, that's such a huge thing. But also being on telly for the first time, which was on Discovery Plus on the Trixie Motel. So I think that was a really big thing for me. And
there's a room themed around you, isn't there?
Yes, it's the Atomic Bombshell room.
This Trixie is the gift that keeps on giving, isn't she?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, I've been posting all the updates and things that has been happening lately with me and drag, and every single thing that I'm doing is to do with Trixie. I'm like, we just look like we're obsessed with each other. But the thing is, like, being on that TV show was like so fun, and that's really big. I did that kind of moment for me. I think being on telly for the first time. Wait, also the tour.
See, you've done too many good things.
That's a sleigh. I've never been on Drag Race. I've never been on telly. And I did a whole tour across America, Australia, and the UK. That's not... Bearing in mind, a lot of Drag Race girls don't do their own solo tours.
Well, because they can't.
Because they can't.
Because they can't.
I just can't. That's a big sleigh. That is an absolute vagina sleigh.
I'm just going to add to this. So you did your solo tour across the UK, USA, and America. You've been on the Discovery Channel and have a room themed after you in a motel. You have a makeup collaboration. You've been the Christmas campaign for Selfridges. And there's so much more, and yet no Drag Race. And I think that's absolutely brilliant, because though that was the path I went down, you show people that there is more than one way to make it as a stunning drag superstar without without being competed against anyone.
Yeah.
Because
but the thing is
your own person.
The thing is, I love Drag Race, and Drag Race has I have to thank Drag Race so much for... I don't think I'd have as big of an audience if it wasn't for Drag Race.
But you can love it and appreciate it and thank it, but it doesn't mean you need to be involved in it. And I think that's actually a better way to go.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be long before they're knocking down your door being like, hello, come be a guest judge. That'd be amazing.
I want to be a guest, but the thing is, I don't think they would have another drag queen on the panel.
You're an alien.
I'm an alien. But the thing is, Jodie Harsh was on there doing the DJ thing. Yeah. And that's why I could see myself going in that kind of way in the workroom. I would love to do that. So if anyone's listening...
They absolutely are. I spoke to one of the producers yesterday, and they said, "Oh, well done on the podcast, by the way." But the so what would your minute? Just before I just sorry, I always think more stuff comes up, right?
This happens to us all the time, is we cannot stop talking when we're together because I send you a voice note, then you send me a voice note, and then on WhatsApp we've been talking for over an hour. But go on, sorry, go on.
I think the note we should leave this on is we should figure out what your mini challenge would be. So Jodie Harsh had the DJing while people did the limbo, right?
Yeah.
Would yours be like a lobster throwing competition or something?
Maybe, that's good. But I think what would be a really good mini challenge is, so they have loads of fake supermarket fruit and products. You know, like the toy supermarket fruit and things that you would get in like a supermarket?
Yeah.
Tables and tables of it. And everyone has their own little trolley. And on the count of 3, everyone has to run and grab everything that they can and make a quick outfit on a pretend runway in the workroom, like a little outfit made of shopping supermarket grocery items.
So this is like supermarket sweep meets like
fashion.
meets fashion.
Yes.
I think that's a glorious note to end this on.
Yeah.
Juno Birch, thank you so bloody much for chatting to me.
Thank you, my darling. It's been a pleasure. And I want to say congratulations on this podcast because it's absolutely stunning. And you just had Dawn French on. Oh, my God.
I know, and you're following her 2 weeks later. Imagine such a thing. A round of applause for Juno Birch, everybody.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I know. I'm absolutely gorgeous.
And I think it's in the spirit of you. And what do we do at the end of things?
Goodbye!
Well, there we go. I chatted to the absolutely gorgeous, stunning, sensational Juno Birch. Please be sure to give this a little like on whatever platform you are listening to this on. And I will see you next week with our next guest. Yeah, it's going to be a surprise, as they've all been, except from last week's episode where I said stunning guest, but in Juno Birch's voice, which sort of gave it away, to be honest. Anyway, hope you're all well and you're living your life deliciously. If you're not, why not? Well, tell me! Yes, hopefully see you on my tour, Club Cataclysm, in October and November 2022. Yes, I don't know what else to say. What a lovely time we're having. Goodbye!